what are some ways that we could be mentally fit? How can we practice mental fitness? The first thing that comes to my mind is reading. What else? What else could we do to be mentally fit?
Solving puzzles, uh, playing checkers or chess. Um, uh, you know, like you said, reading. I mean, for some people, staying mentally like stable and everything. Some people just play video games, and it helps some people, process thinking. Especially those adventure games where you got to find stuff. So those are the only things that come up to my mind. But checkers, I feel like that really it warms up my brain, and then after that, I feel like I could solve anything.
Right. Interesting. Yeah.
Chess. I could talk about chess for hours. I love it. It's my favorite game. It always it's a stress reliever, but at the same time, it's like my brain teaser because there's a bunch of strategy and everything. It's super fun, and I don't know, something about winning in that game, like to know that you're like mentally superior to somebody, to be able to like beat them in that type of game. It's just, yeah, it's super fun.
Wow. I have to start playing some chess.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think that like people who play golf, I don't play golf, but I've heard that it's a mental sport, and you're fighting against yourself, or you're trying to get the best out of yourself, and so you're always thinking about the wind, the way that it's shifting, the way that the terrain is, and you're accounting for all of the different, the different strokes that you may have, the different type of irons, or I don't know how the golfers, but I think that that's another aspect. And for myself, I like to fly airplanes. So I'm a private pilot, and getting up in the air and having to listen to air traffic control, and you have to fly your aircraft, and you're monitoring the instruments and everything, as well as the other planes that are around you. It's definitely mental, but it's also a means of like, how do I have that perfect landing, making sure that I do everything right in this particular flight. So, you're talking to the air traffic controllers, you're making sure that your speed is right, you're making sure that the temperature in your engine isn't going too hot or too low, and then basically all your numbers are straight. So it's a thinking sport as well, and it's at the same time it's very refreshing because you're going somewhere and you're doing something different and new.
Right. So challenging ourselves mentally with new games, new skills, new hobbies, flying a plane. Dr. Houston, I'm going to try to fly a plane one day. I appreciate you throwing that in there, man. That's something that's huge, I don't know if skydiving would be a mental challenge, but I've done that a couple of times. So, I mean, just trying new things, learning new things, playing things that challenge you, reading, writing. Those are some ways to become more mentally fit, and I feel like mental and physical fitness both go hand in hand, right? Because our mind is in charge of our body, or how we lift our arms and hands, so we got to use both. We got to keep both sharp. What do we say to people or individuals who aren't really good at working out physically, or aren't motivated to do physical fitness? I think one thing that COVID taught us, the pandemic, when you're at home, is you got to get creative with your home workouts, using chairs to do like body weight dips on, or doing some modified sit-ups, some modified push-ups, and using all the objects around you to create your own gym using what you have, and remembering that body weight workouts are, some of the best workouts, the calisthenics are some of the best workouts for you physically. What else do you guys say to those people who are challenged with physical fitness?
Um, uh, you know, I think you brought up a good point about home fitness, because I think ever since the pandemic, obviously, people have been stuck inside, and you see a lot on social media, people posting home workouts and things like that. And so I think the best way to get into it is to start small. Like you said, you do the 100 push-ups a day.
Mm-hmm.
I think starting with like 20 push-ups a day or something could be a good way to get into that routine of working out without, like pushing yourself all at once and then kind of burning out, which is sometimes what I do.
Right. Setting the goal or the standard too high, and then when you don't reach your goals, you kind of feel less, your self-esteem goes down because you didn't accomplish what you thought maybe you could have. But just doing something, using what you have around the house, doing body weight stuff is a way to boost your confidence. The physical fitness isn't about having a six-pack and having Arnold Schwarzenegger arms. It's really just about taking care of yourself and feeling good about yourself as you're challenging and doing new things that also attacks your mental fitness. What else do you guys think?
I think for some people, when they hear the word exercise, they just don't want to do it, right? So I think for those people, they should find things that they like to do, that exercise is not, how should I say, exercise is not like in their mind. They're doing exercise subconsciously, right? So for example, I like my car clean, so I wash my car. Physical activities, I detail my car. There are people who like to clean their room, reorganize their room, walk their dogs, and they're just thinking about, I'm going to walk my dogs because but they're not realizing, hey, I'm doing myself a benefit. Cleaning my car, I'm doing myself a benefit. And look for other alternatives that require you to just be physically active without the idea of saying, I'm going to go to the gym at this time. I'm going to do 5 jumping jacks at this time. So maybe for those people who are, physically challenged, they can see it like that.
Yep. Let me add into that too, just on what Richard is saying. I think that like starting off slow, starting off small, and having those successes and being consistent at it is always a plus. But I also think that just doing something on the fly, whether you might do a couple of jumping jacks or you may just do a couple of I say wind sprints, and just do something just to push yourself and just to see what your body can do, see what your body responds to. I think one of the things that one of my friends introduced me to was bands. So you can take bands are pretty inexpensive. It's like 20 or so bucks, and you get 4 bands, and they're like lifting weights. I was actually surprised at the intensity of bands, and starting off with the bands, it really gets you winded really fast, and it feels good to the body too, because of the resistance.
It's not so strenuous on your bones and your joints.
Correct.
The bands, you could really get a solid workout with those. They're inclusive for everyone. Yeah, I really like that you mentioned that, Dr. Houston. And even what made me think about you, Dr. Houston, was in the military, how you have like workout partners, and somebody to work out with or to hold you accountable, because not everybody has that individual motivation to stay active, or something throws them off at their routine and they kind of lose sight. And we have those what are the New Year's resolutions, and we stick to it for a few weeks, and then our workout buddy doesn't show up to the gym and we stop, but working out with what you can, with like body weights, with resistance bands, nothing, you don't have to be super press heavy or weight heavy or hurt yourself and that sort, but working out with someone as well to do that could boost your emotional wellness too, mental wellness. You got somebody to work out with, like you're building camaraderie with someone. Me and Nicholas are going to the gym and we're just like, hey man, let's get these 100 push-ups in like we said we were going to do, and then we go from there. Once you get those 100 or once you get your 25 push-ups in, you're like, man, I feel that rush. There's that endorphin rush when I was running, and now let's go into something else. So one thing leads into another, starting small. I love how we're diving into this stuff.